Welcome to Tickle My Spookies, where fear comes alive and the darkness whispers your name. Each story you hear is for entertainment, but be warned, you may find the shadows closer than you think. If you enjoy the spine-chilling tales I bring, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss the next nightmare waiting to unfold. And remember, you're never alone when the terror begins. Whispers in the Shadows, The Yellow-Eyed Demon, Part 3. The night air felt heavy as Sam, Zoe, Riley, and Marcus stumbled out of the Whitmore Asylum. The oppressive weight of the demon's curse had lifted, but the atmosphere remained tense. They had escaped, but the ordeal was far from over. As they sat on the cold, cracked pavement, catching their breath, Zoe couldn't shake the feeling of unease. "We destroyed the demon, right?" she asked, her voice uncertain. "Yeah," Marcus replied, though he sounded unsure himself. "We drove the rod through the doctor's remains. That should have broken the curse." Sam checked the camera footage, fast-forwarding through the chaos of the basement scene. The demon's final shriek echoed through the playback, and the screen flickered before settling on the image of the young woman's smiling face. "She's at peace now," he muttered, "but something still feels off." Riley stood up and paced, his thoughts racing. If she was freed, then why do I still feel like we're being watched? The group exchanged uneasy glances. The asylum loomed behind them, its dark windows like eyes peering into their souls. They all felt it, that creeping sensation of unfinished business. "We should go," Zoe said. "We've done what we can. Let's just get out of here." Reluctantly, the group made their way to their van, packing up their equipment in silence. The night was unnervingly quiet, the usual sounds of the forest replaced with an unnatural stillness. As they drove away, Marcus spoke up. "What if there's something we missed? Something about the doctor's experiments or the asylum's history that we didn't see?" "We read through everything," Zoe said. "The doctor summoned the demon to control the patients. His death was supposed to break the curse." "Yeah, but what if we didn't destroy the real source of the curse?" Marcus asked, his voice trembling. "What if it wasn't the doctor?" Before anyone could respond, the van sputtered and jerked violently to the side of the road. "What the hell?" Riley cursed, pulling the vehicle to a stop. The engine had died completely. Sam groaned, rubbing his temples. Of course, something else had to go wrong. Riley popped the hood and stepped out to investigate, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. "This doesn't make any sense. The engine was fine when we came in." Zoe shivered, hugging herself. "This whole thing is wrong. We shouldn't have come here." Suddenly, the van's radio crackled to life, though no one had touched it. A distorted voice whispered through the static, faint but familiar. "He's still here." Zoe's blood ran cold. "Did you hear that?" Sam stared at the radio, dread filling his chest. "That's her." Marcus leaned forward, his face pale. "But we freed her, didn't we?" Before anyone could answer, the sound of footsteps crunched on the gravel behind them. Slow, deliberate steps, getting closer. They turned, and there, standing just outside the van's dim headlights, was the young woman, the spirit they thought they had freed. Her face was twisted in anguish, her once smiling features now contorted with fear. "You didn't save me," she whispered, her voice hollow. "You can't save me." Zoe's breath hitched. "What do you mean? We destroyed the doctor. We ended the curse." The woman shook her head slowly, her eyes darkening. The doctor wasn't the one who summoned the demon. Sam's heart sank. Then who was? Her voice dropped to a chilling whisper. It was me. The air around them seemed to freeze as the realization hit. The young woman's sorrowful expression shifted, and for the briefest moment, her eyes glowed a familiar, sickening yellow. The demon had never been bound to the doctor. It had always been tied to her. I tried to stop it, she continued, her voice breaking. But I failed, and now it's too late. The group stood frozen, horror dawning on them. Then destroying the doctor, Riley started. Did nothing, she finished for him. The demon is still here, and now it wants you. Suddenly, the van's headlights flickered and went out, plunging them into total darkness. The sound of guttural growling filled the air, circling them like a predator stalking its prey. We have to move, Sam shouted, grabbing Zoe's arm and pulling her away from the van. The others followed, running blindly into the woods, their footsteps frantic and uneven. As they fled, the growling grew louder, the demon's presence closing in. The yellow-eyed beast wasn't finished with them. It had only just begun. They stumbled through the dense trees, barely able to see, when Marcus tripped and fell hard to the ground. Marcus, Zoe screamed, turning back. Sam skidded to a stop and ran back to help. But as he reached Marcus, a shadow loomed over them. The yellow eyes glinted in the darkness, and before Sam could react, the demon lunged. A blood-curdling scream tore through the night as Marcus was dragged into the darkness, his body disappearing into the abyss. The others froze in terror, their breaths coming in ragged gasps. "We can't outrun it," Riley shouted, his voice cracking. Zoe's mind raced, trying to piece together what little hope they had left. The woman. She's the key. She summoned the demon. We have to stop her. Sam looked at her, eyes wide. How? We don't even know what she is anymore. Zoe steeled herself, the weight of their survival resting on her shoulders. There has to be a way to sever her connection to it. Suddenly, the woman appeared again, standing in their path, her eyes glowing with a malevolent light. "You can't stop it," she said, her voice echoing through the forest. "It's already too late. The demon is part of me. It's part of this place. And now, it's part of you." Sam raised the camera, his hands shaking. "Then why let us go this far? Why didn't it just kill us?" The woman's face twisted into a sad smile. "It doesn't want to kill you. Not yet. It feeds on your fear. It thrives on your despair." Riley stepped forward, his face pale. "Then what happens now?" The woman's smile faded, and her yellow eyes gleamed in the moonlight. "Now, you join the others." Before anyone could react, the ground beneath them trembled, and ghostly figures began to rise from the earth. Patients from the asylum, their tortured souls drawn to the living. "We have to end this," Zoe shouted, grabbing a metal shard from the ground. She charged at the woman, but the demon intercepted her, knocking her to the ground with a vicious swipe. As Zoe lay there, gasping for breath, she realized the horrifying truth. There was no way to stop it. The demon wasn't bound to a curse. It was a part of the asylum itself, tied to the very souls that had perished there. It would never die, never be destroyed. The group's screams echoed through the forest as, one by one, they were consumed by the darkness, their bodies and minds claimed by the demon. Days later, the authorities found the van abandoned on the side of the road, its doors wide open. No trace of the Ghost Hunt Chronicles team was ever found, but the footage remained. The camera lay in the dirt, still recording. The last image it captured was the young woman standing in the distance, her yellow eyes glowing, a faint smile on her lips. The demon had won, and now it waited for its next victims.